looking at that game exclusively, I thought that Kerry gave some guys like Tony Brosnan, Buckley at centre forward, a few of the backs, they gave some guys an opportunity and they really didn't take it. Like, they really showed the difference between their starters and their subs. Was a big step. And I think Roscommon came into that game, especially the second half, they tore into it. And Kerry dealt with it to win the game, but they definitely didn't match it. I think that's a big difference with Dublin and Kerry, and it was shown. If Dublin come down to Hyde Park and Roscommon want to mix it with them, John Small and Brian Howard and these boys, they'll mix it. If you want to play football with them, they'll play football with you. If you want to mix it with them, they'll mix it with you. And Kerry just really showed a lack of want for that fight. And their football carried them through, and like Roscommon's errors, and they capitalised it in Clifford. And, you know, but they were in trouble. It was 12-all. They got the sending off was a joke. You shouldn't have sent it off, like. But aside from that, it was 12-all, and they started emptying their bench. And Roscommon started emptying their bench, more so giving guys runs Roscommon brought on some very inexperienced players. And yeah, they won it comfortably enough in the end, but they were in trouble for a certain period of it. Roscommon in the first half were doing well, but they were conceding the kick out. Second half, they pushed up on the kick out because Kerry were playing into the wind and the game changed. So Roscommon would say that was because of the wind, but it just showed for me contesting kick outs. You've got to actually push up and make a contest of it. They pushed up on Kerry, they started leaving a bit in after the ball, and Roscommon aren't a physical team, but they wanted it, and Kerry just showed a massive, that's exactly what went wrong against Cork last year. They showed a massive lack of appetite for winning those games, and to be All-Ireland champions against a team like Dublin, when Dublin are in it, you need to have that appetite constantly to, you know, just every time you're out, just to demolish everything. And that comes from squad depth, and the players who came in from Kerry didn't do it. You know, where if Dublin would give 2 or 3 guys a run, them guys would be scoring 1-3, 1-4. So then the next guys who come in, when they're playing, they can't let the foot off the gas. And Kerry let the foot off the gas in that game, and it was shown because the guys who did come in didn't step up.
Yeah, and I suppose because with Kerry in general, I think a lot of people are kind of having them, I suppose, as the closest team to beat the Dubs. And like when you look at their forwards, like they're, you know, with the likes of David Clifford, Paddy Clifford obviously coming in, Paul Gainey, Stephen O'Brien, who didn't even start, of course, in the first game. Like they've so much talent going forward. It just seems to be the midfield and the defense that's the issue. And I suppose maybe the structure of how they set out, I suppose.
Yeah, well, the point that I was making about like their mentality is dangerous for them to even get to the All-Ireland final in the first place, because they could get caught again. And it's dangerous in that, like, it's just that couple of percent that could be the difference between them and Dublin, and that's something which is lacking. But in terms of their team overall, like in what we've seen against Galway, especially when they put out kind of a stronger team, when Jack Barry comes into the middle third, he's a big addition. I know O'Connor has played well around the field, but he doesn't have the same physicality. And like, you need Barry there essentially anyway to mark Fenton if they play against Dublin. David Moran has been off of it. He got a head collision early in that game, and, you know, it was very like he lost a lot of blood, and he came back in, and he just kind of wasn't as dominant as you'd expect him to be in a game like that. And if he can't dominate games like that, he kind of struggles with the movement of the Dublins and Mayos anyway. So he's a bit of a concern for them. And defensively, yeah, they seem to kind of be intent on like really tackling hard and pushing up, but they get broken through very easily. So Foley played well for them in the full back line against Roscommon, and one Roscommon forwards are very good, so it was a good test for them defensively. But they would have been happy to have not conceded a goal, and then that last goal was very easily conceded. So I've been one who's been, you know, blowing Kerry's horn for a while, but this year has actually worried me about them, to be honest. Just mentally and defensively, they look a little bit frail, but we'll see. And they have so much quality, it's only small percentages, and they could find those percentages in, like, you've seen Kerry teams in years gone by losing Munster Championships coming through the back door. They don't have that this year, but they could, you know, a few things could make a massive difference. A few changes could make a massive difference for them. So I wouldn't be writing them off, or I wouldn't be getting too excited.
Yeah, I suppose it was classic Kerry in many ways back in the day, when they always used to, I suppose, come through the back door and kind of lead you on and make you think that they're gonna, you know, not beat the Dubs and everything else. But